eastern city of Lahore, a large number of buses carrying supporters, many waving the Pakistani flag. And many of the demonstrators say they are fed up with the current government, with rising prices, with continuing terrorist attacks and with continuing power shortages. And all of this is coming at a very difficult moment for the government. It's been dealing with a crisis in recent days in the city of Quetta, where more than 100 Shia Muslims were killed. And now it's going to face another challenge right here on its own doorstep.
Ola Guerin there in Islamabad. Beijing's familiar air pollution has become so bad that even China's tightly controlled state media is urging action from the government. Driving home the point, the artist Ai Weiwei has posted these pictures of himself wearing a gas mask. The Global Times newspaper said the authorities must publish the facts and not cover up the extent of the problem. The BBC's Celia Hatton has this report from Beijing.
I'm on a bridge near the center of downtown Beijing, but a thick layer of air pollution that's blanketed the city for much of the past 3 days is hiding many of the buildings behind me. It's the start of the work week in Beijing, and many of the city's 5 million vehicles have returned to the roads as usual. But many residents are choosing to heed health advisories, and they're staying indoors to protect their lungs. Sales of air purifiers are skyrocketing. The city's officials say they're doing what they can to combat the smog. Some factories have been ordered to reduce emissions, and dusty construction sites are being sprayed with water. But the truth is the city's government can only do so much to reduce the smog here, since much of the air pollution has blown in from the provinces surrounding Beijing with their coal-fired power plants and dirty, polluting factories. The truth is, Beijing's smog will likely stay in place until the wind picks up and blows much of it away starting on Wednesday.
Beijing today. In a couple of minutes, BBC World News begins broadcasting from its new studios in central London. We begin a long goodbye from our home for the last 2 decades here at Television Centre. International viewers, stay tuned for our exciting new look, which if you're watching in the UK, you'll be able to see if you join us at the same time tomorrow. From me, Nick Gowing, bye-bye.
Well, let's take a look at what Mother Nature is up to right now and across the United States. That icy, frigid weather developing. Take a look at these deep blues across Canada, deep blues across the central part of the United States as well. And that cold air is just starting to encroach into northern parts of Alabama and Mississippi. But meanwhile, the eastern seaboard still through Monday, very, very warm conditions. In Miami, highs of around 25 degrees, and even in the Big Apple, 17. Now that's warm for January. However, in Colorado, it's 12 below, so all of this cold weather will continue to sink southwards and eastwards over the next few days. If you're hopping onto an airplane jetting off to LAX, we're talking about sunny skies in Los Angeles, 13 degrees or so, so on the cool side, but at least the weather is looking mostly good. In Denver, however, it's still 10 below. And more central parts of America, see this cloud here, that's a weather front, a cold weather front, which will be introducing a colder air to northern parts of Mexico, so the Sierra Madre mountain ranges, certainly some below freezing temperatures. Also around the coasts of the Gulf of California here, temperatures only into single figures during the course of the night. Further south in the tropics, the usual weather conditions. We've got the trades blowing in, some of these showers on all of these eastern coasts here, and temperatures between around about 26 and 30 degrees Celsius through Monday. Now over to South America, still these very rainy, wet conditions across the very far southeast of Brazil. Here towards the northeast, the drought continues. However, the best of the weather, or the sunniest of the weather, will be across Uruguay, Paraguay, towards the south, across Argentina as well. Now in the sunshine, Montevideo, temperatures getting up to around about 31 degrees Celsius. Towards the south, more like 15 in that breeze. Now here the international travel hubs then. In Lima, 25 degrees. If you're hopping onto an airplane heading off to Buenos Aires, it's 31, and there'll be some showers around in Santiago. It looks as though it'll be mostly cloudy. And that for now is your weather.
Wherever your allegiance may lie, unite in the love of football, radio, TV, online and mobile. The Africa Cup of Nations on the BBC begins 19th January. Love African football.
Hello, you're watching GMT on BBC World News. I'm George Alagaya. Our top stories. The French Foreign Minister says his country's military involvement in the West African state of Mali will last a matter of weeks. French air support marks a key moment in Mali's conflict between government forces and Islamist rebels. But could Paris regret the pledge about the length of its intervention? A biting winter for Syria's refugees. The world faces a staggering humanitarian disaster, says the International Rescue Committee, as it issues a warning about the world's failure to take action. Our correspondent, Lise Doucette, is there. Also today, my colleague Lucy Hockings gives us a guided tour of our state-of-the-art newsroom, which we're broadcasting from for the first time.
New look, new studios. I'll be showing you around the BBC's state-of-the-art building on the first day at our new home here in central London.
And Erin's here with the latest from the world of business.
George, muscular, sleek and fast. Sorry, my friend, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about this baby right here, the king of the American luxury sports cars, the new iconic Corvette. And yes, born and bred in the United States, but it is about to take on Europe's premium car makers.
Hello and welcome to a new look GMT, our first programme from these state-of-the-art studios in the heart of London. Over the next hour, we'll be taking you on a tour of new broadcasting house and show you the world's newsroom. But first, it's 7 a.m. in Washington, midday here in London and Bamako, the capital of Mali. France's Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius says his country's intervention against Islamist rebels in the West African state will last just a matter of weeks. Where have we heard that before? On Sunday, French warplanes struck Islamist strongholds. That sparked off a sharp warning from Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb. One of its leaders says the group will strike at the heart of France. Richard Forrest reports.
French aircrews prepare for another mission. The Air Force is now carrying out round-the-clock strikes, pounding the rebel bases and forcing the fighters to flee. Although French officials have admitted the rebels are better armed than they'd expected. 7 other countries are supporting France, including Britain and the US.